Imagine you're on a parking lot in Hamar, Norway. You felt fancy last night and you splurged on a hotel room. Clean sheets, thick curtains, silence. For a brief moment you think to yourself, this is it. This is the part of the movie where the main character finally turns things around. You stretched, look out the window, and despite the fact that you were looking out over a dark December morning in Northern Europe, you felt expensive. Then you remember, you're a truck driver. Still, you lean into it, take your time, get dressed like someone whose life is very much under control. And just as you stepped outside, heading towards the truck, blue lights. The police had arrived to personally inform you that you was in fact not the star of a romantic comedy. More like an extra in a Scandinavian procedural. So whatever fantasy you had going on in that hotel room ended right there in the parking lot. I guess we really did bring the beef to Norway. Anyway, you show them your papers. They kick the tires of the truck for a bit, trying to hide the fact that they don't know the first thing about an on-the-fly truck inspection. And since they don't have anything on you, they let you go. You say "Tack betjänt" as merrily as you can to try to hide your dislike for power-tripping police officers, but just like their on-the-fly truck inspection, you're not fooling anyone. And neither are these Truck Sim Diaries. And in this video series, I record my Euro Truck Simulator 2 gameplay, and I use it as a backdrop for my unscripted thoughts on what's going on in my life and the world around me. Sometimes I will have a lot to say, sometimes I will just comment on the gameplay, and sometimes I'll just be quiet. Either way, I'm glad you're here, so let's see if we can get out of this mess and on with our lives here. But before we do anything, let's recap our progression in the Truck Sim Diaries Cruising Nordic Horizons event. If you don't know what this is, it's an event we're running based on the World of Trucks community event, where we're going to do a delivery to or from all of the cities in the latest DLC release, Nordic Horizons. Right now, we are in Hamar, Norway, where we dropped off cargo last time. So for today, we're going to start by moving just a little bit northwest of here to Lillehammer and see what kind of jobs are on offer there. And another note on the gameplay here, I'm running a modded game to reflect the real world weather where I live in Sweden. Also, I've set the game to match the date of recording, which will have an impact on the daylight hours, especially when we're up in the north. This is to give you the really immersive experience and to let you know what kind of environment I'm coming from at the time of recording. Alright, let's continue. Let's get out of here.
Okay, here we go. Get ready to turn left. Turn left. Finding a new route.
And we are dealing with an early morning on my Christmas leave. I was up last night with my wife. She was wrapping gifts, and she told me that I should sit with her and watch Knives Out. And we got into a kind of discussion about, you know, her and me, we like completely different kinds of movies. She likes, I I guess, emotionally demanding dramas. Like, the perfect movie for her is, you know, trauma survivor. What are we doing here? Trauma survivor fighting through his or her hardships. I don't know. Just emotionally demanding movies. Whereas I am I'm a simple creature. I like a good action movie. But what we got to talking about was, I like movies who take themselves seriously. And what I mean by that is,
At the roundabout, take the second
movies that aren't kidding around, like that don't have like a
exit now.
kind of comedic or like tongue-in-cheek aspects.
At the roundabout.
Take for
the second
instance
exit.
John Wick. John Wick is like an action comedy, whereas my best example of a movie that takes itself seriously, even though it's completely unrealistic, is Terminator 2. I think for me that's one of the best movies ever made, and that's the kind of movie that I like, because like I want that kind of action movie, and I want to take it seriously. It's like with all the other things in my life. This is where we are talking about my, autism is a spectrum, and now we're talking about one of my shades. Like what I was talking about with geeky stuff with my wife last episode, I think it was. Like Warhammer 40k. Like, I want to take it seriously. I don't want to do it tongue-in-cheek. I want to do it like, when I play a scenario in Warhammer 40k, I don't want to like, it's not a laughing matter.
Caution. Please watch the speed limit.
And this has kind of been a bit of a bane, throughout my whole life, because I want to do it. I want to do everything super seriously. Like, I'm not a person without humor at all, but I don't want to joke about the things that I'm doing, or the things that I'm enjoying, like movies or video games or books or whatever. I want to do it in the most serious way possible. And I think like the Terminator movies are a great experience of, a great example of how this has always been the bane of my existence, because I was very young when Terminator 2 dropped, and it was a very serious movie that took itself seriously, and it was fantastic. And then Terminator 3 comes, and the kind of action movies had like turned into a joke by then. So naturally, Terminator 3 was gonna joke with itself. And I remember when, in that movie, this was a long time ago though, but in that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, at least, walks into a bar and kind of redoes the whole bar scene from Terminator 2, except when he steps out, he has this star-shaped sunglasses. Like, it knows it was serious last time, but this time it's laughing at itself. Like, it's having a little fun. It's poking fun at itself. And I stopped the movie right there. Just turned it off. I don't know what the movie's about. I don't know what goes on after that. I haven't seen anything, because I'm like, I can't do this. I can't sit here and like,
Get ready to turn right.
not, I can't joke about this. This is not a laughing matter. This is this is an action movie. This, that old saying, this is German humor. It is not a laughing matter. So yeah, that's kind of how I work with with my enjoyments because I want to go all in. I want to be super serious, and I know that this can be like, just like how movies in the late 90s didn't take themselves seriously, and it really hasn't for the most part ever since then. A lot of my peers kind of want to do, it'll easily be too much to do something, go all in on something because people will feel a little uncomfortable with it. But since I may or may not be on the autistic spectrum, I don't feel uncomfortable with going all in. I feel very much comfortable with that because I can understand that. I can,
This is where
it is not. It feels safe and predictable for me to go all in. But also, I was born in the 80s, so doing something with irony, it's one of the building blocks of my generation, and I've always been a little uncomfortable with that because it's just not how I work. Alright, right now we are in Lillehammer. Let's go sit down by these old tables here. And we're going to take a look at this sunrise. If the sun will rise. I think we are far enough south for some actual daylight. We'll kind of see. And then we're going to take a look at what jobs are on offer here. And it's beautiful. And looking at the map here, over the available jobs, I only have the Hamar jobs, not any jobs from Lillehammer. So I think I'm gonna have to move closer into central Lillehammer and see if I can find any jobs from there. But this is a beautiful morning though. Anyway, let's get back to the truck. And we have a crispy day today. We got clear skies and negative degrees outside the window in real life. It kind of looks exactly what we have going on here. No snow yet, unfortunately. We're just a couple days from Christmas. And I know my kids would
Time to hit the road.
my kids would love some snow. And my wife as well. Anyway, let's get going. So being this super serious person that takes everything super seriously,
Turn left.
I guess it's always been a bit of a limiting factor in my life. I think maybe if I would have taken a less serious approach to things,
At the roundabout.
maybe I would be more approachable as well. Like, I understand that if I want to go super serious into everything I do, it can be a bit much at times, perhaps. However, going all in, it's the only way I know how to do it. If I didn't do it that way, it just wouldn't be me. So I guess I should just lean into it. Because I am too old to be anything other than who I am. Alright, let's take a look at this map. Yeah, this looks a lot better. We got a bunch of Lillehammer jobs. We got Oslo. Hold on. I don't think any of these count really. Oslo is not on the list. Jönköping is not on the list. And Växjö is not on the list. So these three cities are not in the Nordic Horizons DLC. Hold on, what about Tornio? Yeah, Tornio it is. Let's take some cheese from Lillehammer to Tornio, Finland. That's great. Gonna see the Swedish East Coast go along the E4. Let's go. We're going back to Finland.
Time to get the job done.
It's time to get the job done. Going north, we got the depot is a bit of a drive. 19 tons of cheese from Norway to Finland. Norway really is a spectacular country. I have not been to Norway much. Because there's so much, like there's so many places to go in Sweden. But the nature in Norway and Sweden differs a lot. Norway's a lot more dramatic. And from my understanding, being in Norway is just like being in one big postcard. Like Sweden is more vast, or like our mountain areas are bigger and more sweeping, but Norway has all these cliffs and fucking like just amazing to look at. So I really should go to Norway more, especially northern Norway. I want to see the fjords. I've never seen a fjord in my life, but from my understanding, it is amazing.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
And what would our Cruising Nordic Horizons event be without a little bit of rain? Just wouldn't feel right. Alright, let's load it up. And as we're checking off Lillehammer on the list, we got 1,055 kilometers to go. We got fuel for 1,808. ETA 17 hours and 47 minutes of in-game time. It's going to take us about estimated 56 minutes of real-world driving. We need to rest in 9 hours and 30 minutes. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
let's take a look at some questions. I got one that I have been saving. That I was scrolling past last time. And it was... Let's see if I can find it here. Does anyone you know... let's see, does anyone you know personally... Hold on, the question is a little poorly formulated. But the question is basically, has anyone you know ever become homeless? And I know one. We're not close or anything like that, but I really like the guy a lot. He's one of the kindest people I've met through my job. So I work as an electrician. And whenever we do renovations, I met this guy when we were renovating a bathroom for someone, and he was a plumber. And he was this kind, warm, just funny person that, you know, immediately when you meet someone, you can find out that you can kind of feel right away that, you know, they're a nice person to be around. Just all around pleasant, helpful, just lovely guy. And you know, ever since then, whenever I haven't worked with him a lot, but ever since then, every now and then I meet him at the stores where we get stuff for our clients. The electricians and the plumbers, we all get the stuff from the same big store that has all the materials you can need. And you know, I meet him every now and then, exchange pleasantries like, how are you? Everything's, yeah, nice, good to see you. Just take care of your, you know, just regular pleasantries. And I have been meeting him ever since, every now and then. Kind of maybe like, well, a month or two apart. You know, we say hi, and then we kind of move on. And then I read an article in the news that's featuring him. And the headline is... so-and-so became homeless. And it was this really long interview with him. Uh-oh. Cover your ears, honey. This one gets the long honk. Pull me over. I pulled them over. It was a long interview with him of like how he became homeless. You know, I live in Sweden. We have this very good, you know, welfare system. And people don't think we have homeless people here because we think that this welfare system that we have is so tight that there's always help just standing by in case you need it. It's just not the case at all. And it wasn't for this guy. I mean, we have a lot of homeless people, and this guy, he just became homeless for, you know, reasons he didn't get into, but still. Turns out that he didn't have a place to live, so he had to sleep outside, you know, in public garages, under bridges. And you know, it can happen to anyone. Because if you make some economic mistakes or have some misfortune, it can happen to you. And I didn't want to stop him and like tell me everything, but like, I said to him, like, you know, he doesn't know me very well, and I don't know him very well. I don't know where he lives. I don't know if he's got wife, kids, and stuff like that. We just exchange a couple pleasantries. But in my mind, I was thinking like, bro, why didn't you tell me? Like, just tell me you don't have a place to live. You can come stay with me. You know, it's not a problem. Well, of course it's a problem, but it's a way smaller problem than him fucking being homeless.
Exit now.
And I felt pretty stupid because I said like, you know, I read the article, and I am very sorry. And then I didn't think about
Go
what I said
straight
because
on.
I said, you could have told me and you could have stayed with me. And he was like, yeah. Like, would you tell me? Would you ask me? And I was like, no. Of course not. I don't know you. And he's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Keep running.
and I started thinking, like, how many people in my life would I be comfortable asking and being like, bro, I'm in deep shit. Like, I don't have anywhere to stay tonight. And he said that, yeah, I got a couple, it was in the article. It didn't tell me. He was like, I got a couple friends that let me crash there for a night or two. But, we were talking almost a year. And people aren't ready for that. And I can fully believe it. And I started thinking, like, how many people do I realistically have that I could ask that of? And it's not a lot of people. I mean, of course, my wife, but what if I don't have her? What if, what if something happens? And maybe that's what happened with him, like,
Go straight on.
so that's no longer an option. Then what do? You got a bunch of guys that you met at work that you exchange pleasantries with. You got some friends that care about you, for sure. But everyone is kind of thinking, like, the welfare system was, you can stay with me for a couple of days until the welfare system kicks in. The thing is that the welfare system doesn't always kick in. It's a safety net, but it's got some huge holes in it. So he was like, yeah, I got a lot of friends, but 98% of them,
At the roundabout.
it's out of the
take
question to
second
even ask. And
Exit now.
yeah, that hit me pretty hard because I was like, I got really good friends whom I love and who I know love me. But would they take a year or more of, me staying with them? I don't think so. And would you also, being that load on someone would be absolutely awful. And you would be like, I love my friend so much that I would rather, sleep under a bridge than be a burden to them. So, like, do I know anyone who's gotten homeless? Man, I know one, but, like, there could be more that I don't even know about. People that you can know, nice people. You never fucking know. And it's just so fucking sad. Just homelessness really, it's one of those things that I see a lot of homeless people, and I help a lot of homeless people, but not to the extent where I open up my house, because you kind of just don't do that. Because you never know what kind of problems, come with something like that. But it really hit me hard with this guy. This nice guy that I felt it would be natural for me to help him, but of course we don't have that kind of, we don't know each other on that level. It's obvious for me, but of course it's not obvious for him. Like, you can't just ask that of people.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
All right, next question. Are you loud? And no, I am a man of silence. And I don't mean like. Well, I mean that in a couple of different ways, I suppose. I enjoy silence. I find loud noises to be, irritating, and I don't make loud noises. I don't have a loud car. I don't play loud music. I don't, talk loudly because I don't want to bother people with my loudness. I enjoy, I enjoy quiet, and I enjoy the silence. So for the most aspects of how I choose to live my life, I don't think I'm a loud person. I suppose you never know. But also both my wife and I were, sensitive to loud noises. So we kind of, I guess we kind of do live in a little bit of a quiet environment. It's not, 100% dead quiet. I mean, I feel like I need to have kind of background music when I'm home. Like in my kitchen, I'm always playing some soft music. Not loud at all, just low volume.
Please watch the speed.
But it's never to the point that you can't have a conversation without, speaking loudly. And whenever I'm at a bar or a restaurant that go for the loud kind of approach where they play music loudly so that I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. I think this is one of the I keep coming back to my autism. I'm not diagnosed with autism. I just find a lot of things in my life would be easy to explain. If you take that into account. And that's one of them. The disdain I feel for loud noises. Alright, next question. What is one thing you will never be interested in, and why? There are a couple things. I know there's a lot of sports, but especially soccer.
Please watch the speed.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. I cannot for the life of me find it interesting. And it kind of ties together with the last subject, I think, because soccer is so fucking loud, and soccer fans are so fucking loud that they get on my goddamn nerves. It's one of the things that makes me never ever want to live in a big city. And I don't like how people just change when they get into a soccer crowd, mentality. Like how people change when they get into a soccer crowd as soccer fans. It's just, again, the autism. I have trouble with people changing their mentality depending on this group that they're with. I always find that, it's hard for me to interpret. I never liked it. I feel uncomfortable and I feel unsafe. Hey, that's just me. It's not for me. And soccer practice for the kids, being a soccer coach, it is never going to happen. As of yet, my kids, I'm not going to stop them from playing soccer. If they want to, we have a soccer team for kids in my village, and a lot of their friends are playing soccer. None of them has, I suppose if I would have been more encouraging, it would have rubbed off on them, but I can tell that the things that I enjoy, they are what rubs off on them, so I can't force an interest. I can't pretend to be interested in soccer just because my kids might be interested in soccer. If I'm in, that's like levels of planning that I just can't, I can't do that. But thankfully, neither of them has expressed any kind of interest in any team sports at all. Not that I would mind, but I'm a little bit happy that they're not that they're not into soccer. If I'm going to be completely honest with you. So there's that. if they can figure this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. There's a cop here. He should figure it out. There we go. We're coming up on Borlänge. It is time. Oh, shit. It is time. 7 o'clock at night, in the evening, sorry. It is time for us to take a rest. So we're gonna pop in here. I think this was where the thing was. So Borlänge is pretty much known for one thing, and that is their stadium, or whatever. It's called Kupolen. The brand is Oasen, which means oasis, because I guess they didn't want to copyright the I guess it was copyright issues. This is the thing.
I'll find a new route.
But the street signs still says Kupolen. That's pretty fun. We'll see if the modders can take care of that. Let's get some of that rest. Alright, we wake up 4 in the morning. It's time to go.
Ready to roll.
$702 kilometers left. Couple hours until sunrise. This is us on the road. All right, next question. How afraid are you of losing your job to AI? And me personally, I am not afraid at all. Because I'm a little bit interested in the evolution of robotics.
Exit now.
Like, those dog robots and humanoid robots. Boston Dynamics was like ahead of its time, creating these sci-fi looking, machines that could walk, jump, run, that kind of stuff. I've always been like fascinated by that. Not an expert on the subject at all. I enjoy the everyday robot news, I suppose. But looking at their capabilities or lack thereof, they are a bit of a ways from taking the job of us electricians. Especially the way that I work. I have an old mind. I am 42, so I'm aging, but I have a hard time seeing that robots controlled by AI are going to be able to take my job and render me useless in the next, at least 10 years. Maybe even 15, However, I am convinced that I am going to see AI make my job a lot worse in the coming years. Because I completely trust capitalism to find ways to implement AI to save up buck at the expense of employees. No doubt. It's going to be things like, evaluations. Optimizations, you took this route in your company car. Why didn't you take this route instead? And like you get a monthly report of how you could do better on the mistakes that you made according to AI, because it's going to be able to sift through so much data. Like, why did you stop for this long at this place? Well, why did you stop for 10 minutes to refuel? The normal refuel statistics are 7 minutes and 45 seconds. All that kind of stuff. And AI is going to be able to compile those kind of reports to your boss or manager, and he can just have that on the table as you're discussing future, pay increases. Like, yeah, but we got this list of things that you can do better, so that kind of stuff. I am convinced that I am going to start seeing that kind of bullshit pretty soon, because I expect so little of the people who are in charge of things, that they will not hesitate to just make everything horrific. So, AI replacing me, not probable. AI making me, I don't know, flip the table, yeah, very probable. Probably soon. Probably has already. All right, next question. Based on where you live, if you were to hit an animal while driving, what would that animal more than likely be? And it'll be a roe deer or a boar. Those are the more than likely. Those are the two main jackasses that we have roaming around in the woods where I live. When you get a little further north, there's moose. We have moose where I live too. I live just north of Stockholm by Uppsala in Sweden. And we have moose here, except that they're not out on the roads running around, especially not when you compare to roe deer and the boar, because we have those in droves. Sometimes there is more boar than asphalt on the. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, those are the two main perps for
and then
sure.
exit right.
Oh, this sounds difficult.
Exit right.
Exit right and then move. Let's see, and then move forward,
Go straight
and
on.
then swirl onto that thing. All right, we got this. I'm thinking when we're in northern Sweden, we're delivering this cargo to Finland. Hopefully we're going to be close to Umeå, because I want to drive to our garage there and switch trailers. I feel like we've had this box attached to this truck for so long that it's time to, I want to use the special transport kind of trailers, the low bed, to get some of that cargo going. So hopefully we can stop by the garage in Umeå soon to switch trailers. All right, next question. What's something you enjoy? Oh, hold on. What's something you enjoy that most people don't? And you've heard of surströmming, I think. There are a lot of things that I enjoy that most people don't in Sweden, especially. You've heard of surströmming. It is this fermented fish. There's a lot of YouTubers being moronic about it and just opening it up in the car and puking and stuff like that. And yeah, that's just the complete wrong way to do it. It's like saying it's like, you know, I don't like that kind of stuff. It's like saying,
Please mind the speed.
it's like buying a raw chicken and dunking it in water and then eating that raw and be like, making a point that chicken is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of foods are disgusting if you eat them in the wrong way. The surströmming is fantastic if it's served right. And the way you do that is you serve it on a thin, flat hard bread with some potatoes, some minced or finely chopped onion, and then a little bit of that surströmming. It's great. And I am convinced that unless you are an oversensitive person, you would enjoy that too. It's a little salty. It's great. It's a very nice dish. Of course, the can and the goods therein stink when you open it up. Yes. Have you ever been? Yeah, it's like a lot of foods have a one state where they stink. Go visit a slaughterhouse. But what you do is you open up the can in a bucket of water far away from where you're gonna sit and eat it, and then you kind of just treat the food with respect and like just don't be a moron, and it's fine. It's great. I love it. Except that it is mostly a thing that people from up north eats, and where I live, people never had it served to them in the correct manner. So everyone is like children with like covering their nose and be like, "Oh, stinky fish." And yeah, but that's one thing that I really do enjoy. I enjoy canned soup. That not a lot of people enjoy. Low air pressure. How am I losing air pressure? All right, we're not stopped. Okay, here we go. So there's a lot of that old-timey kind of food. We have a lot of special Christmas dishes in Sweden that people don't normally like, that I'm quite fond of. I can't think of anything that I don't like to eat, like categorically. We have a pastry called mandelkubb. It's also old-timey, kind of made from bitter almonds. And compared to the chocolate chip brownie fudge marshmallow cookies, it's not as sweet, but I enjoy that a lot. So, yeah. We have in the northern Sweden, there is a dish called palt. P-A-L-T. I think it's easy if you just Google it. It's made from, it's like a dumpling made from potato starch and some other things. You fill it with meat and you boil it. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I love it. I love it. But no one else does, so I only eat it when I'm alone. All right, next question. What video game do you wish you could wipe from your memory just to play it for the first time again? I'm gonna say Half-Life 2. I'm convinced that's the best game in the world. It's obviously not, because not everyone plays it. You know, it is not a known fact that you need to play that as the first game you ever play. But it's probably a timing thing, because I was in the exact perfect age, and I had played, you know, the games previous. So when Half-Life 2 dropped, it was fucking, man, I remember it like it was yesterday. That game was it still is. I need to replay it. And I remember one of my fondest memories of in Half-Life 2 is when you get this hovercraft thing and you go along the river and you're in these like these abandoned houses that are along the river just scouting for supplies. That scene is like imprinted in my memory because it was so good. Maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, if I probably would enjoy it today, but like when I played that game, that was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. we need to stop for fuel and a coffee.
Finding a new route.
Because we're in Arnholdsvik, and whenever I drive
Please
here,
make a U-turn
I,
when possible, okay? Let's find a new
so I
route.
drive here when I'm gonna move, going north to visit my mother,
Make a reroute. Finding a new route.
and I always stop at this gas station.
When possible, make a U-turn.
So coming here without stopping for fuel and a coffee just wouldn't feel right. And this really is a, they've really done this right. This place, this little building here right in front of us, it's a hamburger place in Sweden. They removed the signage because probably of copyright reasons, but the design of the roof, and then of course the ski jump slope with the landing right here by the parking lot. And also the building with the orange and the red and yellow building over there with the sticking out things. That is also a classic that you notice when you take this drive. And we're gonna see, now it's a little lighter than last time we were here. But they have the swim house, and it's got this water slide that goes externally. You can see it right here, yellow and purple or whatever it is.
Take the second exit.
I've never stopped here ever since I was a kid. Driving through here, I've always been like fascinated by this water slide that comes outside, comes out of the building and just twirls around like this. And I've never stopped here for a swim. And I drive past this with my kids, and I'm like, oh, look at the water slide. It comes out. They're like, oh, Dad, can we stop for a swim? And I'm like, no, we're almost there. Like, from here, we got it's a little over an hour's drive to get to Umeå.
Go straight.
So we never stop. We never stop here for a swim. Hey, you know what? We really should. I owe my kids that. They need to. I owe them a better life than what I've had. So yeah, I'm gonna take them. We're gonna take the plunge, literally.
Go straight on.
And this building is also, you can see it by the rear view mirror. This building is also, they got some weird, funky architecture going here. It's not like, it's a little, all right, you know. Övik, you do your thing. The city's called Örnsköldsvik. That's a lot of letters, so we just call it Övik. So we skip the Örnskölds. So we just take the first and the last three of the letters in this city's name, and we call it Övik. Sweden is my favorite place on earth. I badly wish that I could live here. I was born up here, and my parents moved us from here when I was just a little kid. I was younger than my son. I was like 6 when we moved from here. But it has still always felt like this up here where I was born, this is where I belong. And it's not tied to family in any way. Because I wouldn't want the life that I had here. That is a distant memory. We're very worried. But the vastness of it, every time I visit northern Sweden, I feel like I shouldn't have left. Or I feel like I shouldn't have been taken from here. But there is no way for me to live here. I mean, I work, like I said, I work as an electrician, so I can live here. Sorry. I can live and work anywhere in the country because it's not very hard for me to find a job. But my wife, she's in life science, so there's only a handful of places where she could live. And this is not one of them.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
If I could have my way, this is where I would want to live. They do have very long winters, though.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
And a very short spring and a very short autumn. It is more of a blink than anything else.
Exit now.
So the best thing would actually be to, in spring, you go move to southern Sweden, where spring hits first, in Skåne. And then summer up here, and then fall. You move back to where I live now in central Sweden, middle of Sweden. And then in the winter we go back up north, because the winters are, for the most part, a lot better here, a lot more snow, a lot colder. Like a dry cold instead of a wet cold. Like it gets a lot colder up here, but a lot less humidity, so the winters are a lot more bearable. And also, they have a fleshed out snowmobile culture here, which we don't have where I live. So yeah, there's no snowmobiling south of Norrland. Alright, let's take another question. Do adults actually feel like adults? Or are we all just pretending? And I don't know about you guys, but I fucking don't feel like an adult. I'm not an adult, I'm a person. You know what I mean? Like, I think you get this idea of adults from when you're a child, obviously. And then you kind of never really live up to that. Because, at least for me, I thought of adults as adults, and I was the child. And then I never felt really that I came to, I never really felt that I came to the point of actually being an adult. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I'm just a person, you know, wandering around with my eyes covered, eyes tied shut. Like, I can't, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm trying my best to fit in, but man, I feel like I'm faking it, the whole thing. Like, I'm a dad, a father of two, full-time job. You know, I have my responsibility. I do everything that an adult should do, but still, I don't feel like an adult. So I guess I probably never will. I don't know. Do you feel like an adult? And when I meet kids, like, obviously I'm not a kid anymore. And when I meet someone who's a lot younger than I am, obviously I don't feel like we're on the same, you know, page or situation or whatever.
And then continue straight on.
I thought I was. When I was in my 30s, I was like, yeah, man, I'm pretty young. Like, I'm pretty down.
Go straight on.
I'm pretty hip. But then I talked to an 18-year-old and I was like, oh. Yeah, right. This is something I've never seen scarecrows like this. I've never seen that in Sweden. So obviously I'm not a child. Obviously I'm not a kid. Obviously I'm not a youngin'.
Keep right. And then continue straight on.
But I'm not an adult either, because obviously I'm not there.
Go straight on.
Even though I'm doing all the things. And my peers are adults for sure. It's just not me. Yeah, I think that's just probably just common imposter syndrome. It's not something that bothers me. Like, I'm not walking around on this earth thinking I'm afraid of getting caught or anything like that. But I just don't feel like one of them, you know? Now we're passing through Skellefteå. within Sweden, Skellefteå is known for a couple things. Not a lot, but a couple things. One of them is hockey, and the other one is their inbreeding program. There's this trope that everyone in Skellefteå is everyone in Skellefteå is either called Lundmark or Marklund, which are two last names that you just change just flip them around a little bit. And the joke is that they're inbreeds. I don't know if how much truth there is to it. Probably none.
Caution. Please mind the speed limit.
That's the joke, at least. All right, let's take a look at some more questions here. What's the... Oh, this one. I'm red-faced already. What's the most embarrassing moment in your life that still make you cringe? And I cringe just thinking about it. And, all right, story time. So I was... I don't know, 20, I was in my 20s. And for the most part of my life, I haven't been single. I've kind of always been in a relationship of some sort. This was when I was not in a relationship. I was young, I was single, so I had this friend of mine, and we were gonna go to a bar, and this friend was a girl. And she was gonna bring her friend. And I thought that friend was kind of cute. And there were two extremely embarrassing things that happened this night. And one of them, thankfully, didn't play through. The embarrassing thing didn't happen. But it could have been so fucking embarrassing that I probably would have had to move, I think. And the other thing was, well, it was extremely embarrassing, but it was more on the internal process kind of thing. Anyway, we went to this bar, and this friend was there, and this friend was really cute, and this friend was flirting. And I was like, I got made. I felt like I was on top of the world. This girl was, dancing in a way where, as a guy, it's quite obvious that the girl is interested. If you know what I mean? There was bumping and there was grinding. And there was this song that I think it was like Chemical Brothers or something like that. The song is called Don't Hold Back. And in the video of this song, there's some heavy breakdancing going on. And I thought that was fucking cool. I wasn't into breakdancing. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, we were at this bar. I was going to get drinks. I was drunk by this time. And this song comes on. And I'm like, yeah, because this girl was so flirting with me, I felt like I really felt like I was on top of the world. And I didn't have any experience with this, I've never been to bars much, because I am scared of them. But this time I went and I had a great time, and this song comes on and I'm like grooving a bit to it, moving a little bit like breakdancers move. Or this is so embarrassing just talking about it, I'm sorry. But I was moving, a little bit with my head, like how breakdancers move before they kind of do their thing. And for some fucking reason, there is a breakdancing guy there who's like, since I'm speaking his language, I suppose, he picks up on this. And, he starts, pushing and shoving me, like breakdancers do when they're about to have their breakdance battle. And I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot, because I'm feeding off of his energy and be like, yeah, let's just... And I remember this. I remember thinking, I don't know how to do this, but it doesn't look that fucking hard. How hard can it be? It's just... Oh god, my face is actually hot just talking about this because it didn't happen, right? Because he started doing his moves, and I was like, oh, I've never moved in that way before. Like, I was like, I won't be able to beat him, but maybe, you know? What is this? Oh, it's a fucking idiot. And for some reason, like, this was the only time, this was the most luck I've ever had in my entire life. So I was pumping myself up, getting ready to go. And there was a crowd at this point. And they had scattered, so that we had this little, you know, space where we were supposed to have our breakdance battle. And this guy was an actual breakdancer who was actually breakdancing, and I was just a drunk 22-year-old guy who's never been to a bar before. Can you imagine what a disaster this was set up to be? Thankfully, like, I'm not a religious person, but if I were to be, this would be that moment. Out of nowhere, a group of my friends materialize, and they just pull me right out of it and just gets me out of the bar because they're like, easy, you're drunk, you're about to do something really stupid, and it's time to go. And so they took me to a place, and we got some food and just had, like, I don't know, 10 liters of water to just kind of snap out of it. And I have never in my life been so fucking thankful for anything than this group of friends of mine who just at the right time just showed up and was like, he's not doing this, let's get him out of here. It was like some, you know, Secret Service, you know, if the Secret Service is there and someone yells gun, and they're like, the subject's out of the building, you know? But that was not the embarrassing part. That could have been really embarrassing. And I get embarrassed thinking about how stupid I was, but I didn't embarrass myself. Now, unfortunately, being pulled out of the bar, I was also pulled away from the girl, you know? And I went back to the bar a couple hours later, but they were gone, and I got really sad because I really wanted this girl. I couldn't have her, and so I started walking home, and my friend lived on the way home from the bar to my place. And I went up to her door because I was going to check if they're home, and maybe, you know, say hi to the cute girl, maybe, you know. And this was early 2000s, and safety doors weren't a thing, so normally people had really thin doors, and I could hear them through the door, and they were talking shit about me. And I just remember I had my hand on the doorbell, and I heard them talk about, you know, what a moron I was, how I thought that I was gonna get the girl. You know, this was my friend and her friend, the one who I was a little interested in. Well, not a little. I was over my ears in love at that point. He's been leading me on, and then they went back to their place to talk shit about me, and I heard that, and I felt so fucking humiliated. Like, you know, how do you recover from something like that? So, I haven't talked to any of these people ever since because I was just so hurt by that. It's fine, but it was really humiliating. All right, one more for Norway with Lillehammer, and one more for Finland for Tornio. So we're 4 for Norway and 5 for Finland. So far, we have not had many jobs for Sweden, as you can tell, but maybe, hopefully with a little luck, we'll be able to deliver something there soon. All right, stats for the job: 1,134 kilometers. Right away, I want to see what we get for distance. Distance is 4 out of 5. So when we were just below 1,000, we got 3 out of 5, and now we were above 1,000, we got 4 out of 5. So there's a magic distance for 4 stars for distance is at least 1,000 kilometers, and I wonder if 5 stars is if we're over 1,500 or 2,000. I'll have to look into that. Either way, 30.3 liters per 100. So fuel economy wise, we are looking good. We spent 343 liters going here. 1 hour and 26 minutes of driving from Lillehammer to Tornio. 19 tons of cheese. Planned was 1,053 and real was 1,134. So still pretty good. We did a toll gate and a toll gate. Income was 28,660 credits. So that's really good. 4,299 for taxes. 4 credits for the toll gates. So toll gates aren't very expensive here in Sweden, as you can tell. 552 credits for fuel. Our revenue was 23,804. And 4 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 5 for damage, 4 out of 5 for distance, 5 out of 5 for fines, 5 out of 5 for fuel economy, 2 out of 5 for mass. So because we were below 20 tons, I suppose, we got that really few stars for mass. 448 hardcore points. All in all, pretty good. We're going to scoot over to Haparanda and take a job from there. Hopefully we can... it'll take us back to Umeå so we can switch trailers. If not, we'll just roll with it. Let's keep going. And we are well above the Arctic Circle by now. Sun is not really peeking up yet. let's take a quick look at the map and see what's for offer. And on the jobs, it doesn't look like we have anything that takes us close to Umeå. We got Luleå, which is way too short. Rovaniemi is, where is that? It's here. It's also too short, I think. Yeah, 103. We got Potted Flowers to Kiruna. And then we got Vasa. We already got that one. Jyväskylä. Kotka is too far away. Yeah, that's all the way down there. Yeah. Kiruna it is. Let's go. And we're just by the pickup point. We can see it straight about out of us, but we need to find our way there.
Drive safe.
Let's go. We need to hit a rest soon. So we're just gonna pick this up, and then we need to find a place to... Oh, let's just go. This is only gonna get worse if we stay.
Turn left.
Which one is Arso? Oh, there it is. Like a glove. We're checking off Haparanda. Let's load it up. First though, we rest.
Okay, here we go.
only carrying 4 tons of cargo. It's gonna be a 340 kilometer delivery. We got more than enough fuel. We got 6 hours and 5 minutes of in-game time. It's about 19 minutes estimated real-world time. Let's give it a rest. We wake up 6:30 in the morning. It's raining.
Time to get the job done.
It's time to get the job done. And these desolate roads far up north, they're some of the best places to drive, in my opinion. Long stretches of road with just woods all around you. A lot of people find it scary or lonely, but I don't know. I like it. Well, it's not very lonely right now with this traffic, but you get the idea. These dudes are just pulling out. This is our time to shine, now or never. Where were we on questions? Oh shit. I need to pull up my... There was one question I was looking for. Where is that one? what was your COVID-19 lockdown experience like? And for me, the COVID-19 lockdown experience. Well, I'm Swedish, so we didn't have a lockdown, but I'm gonna answer the COVID-19 experience in general because it was very interesting. Like it was nothing like that had ever happened before. I paid a lot of attention to the news, like everyone did, of course. And like every day, just something new. Press conferences and just even the build-up was like. I remember standing in my kitchen listening to the news. It was like, you know, the first report of the virus and stuff like that. I've been really, both me and my wife, we we did this thing where
Please mind the speed.
we did this course on zombie survival, and it was pretty interesting. They had a lot of people like holding lectures from the defense and medical departments and stuff like that. The setup was that there was a zombie outbreak. It was every week we had this class that we like discussed. I mean, it was all for fun, of course, but there was some, you know, crisis management involved in it, and we also started joking about, you know, when the virus comes, stuff like that. It was really eerie, just hearing the reports from China with this new disease spreading. No one knew what to expect, you know, stuff like that. It started hitting the first, like, it didn't. There weren't any early big outbreaks or anything in Sweden. The first things we noticed was. The first practical difference that I noticed was supplies for materials was running short because there was disruptions in the supply chain. And I remember thinking like, shit, man, this virus really affected me after all. Just that was before the outbreaks, and little did I know how much it was going to affect me, or in everyone for that matter. But it was crazy times for sure. And just watching it unfold. And like I said, we didn't have a proper lockdown in Sweden. We just kind of went with the social distancing and then keep going. But we did have, you know, kind of strict rules on social distancing. And it was like a lot of people
Please watch the speed.
were told to work from home. Oh, well, I mean, I got a speeding ticket, but that was a long time ago I got a speeding ticket. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. I guess it's maybe the speeding thing has to do with the speed limit signs that I don't know. Never mind. COVID. So a lot of people were working from home, and there was a lot of social distancing. So we weren't supposed to meet friends and stuff like that. And people took it very seriously. Like, I didn't notice a lot of cheating, or whatever you want to call it. But of course, for me, I have no way to work from home. Because, like I said, I'm an electrician, so I go to people's homes and fix their electrical stuff. Now, a lot of electrical companies went under during COVID because there was a short supply of work. For some reason, I didn't have a short supply of work. I had quite the opposite. So I had a huge influx of work. Like I had more to do during COVID than ever before. I like to joke about whatever happens in the world, it always ends up with me getting more to do at work. Like if there's a recession, I get more to do at work. If there's a pandemic, I get more to do at work. If there's I don't know what the name of the opposite of a recession is, but when times are hard, I get more to do. When times are good, I get even more to do. That's just weird. And it was very much true during COVID because I had so much work that needed to be done every day. And I went into people's houses and met people. And for the first year, a lot of people were talking about COVID. It was the only topic of conversation because it had such a huge effect on people's lives. And a lot of the things that I had to do was help them with setting up home electrical stuff for home offices and stuff like that. Also, a lot of people weren't going on holiday, so they had the holiday money to spend on their house, so for like renovations, and a lot of people were buying stuff to make the vacation at home as nice as possible, like pools, entertainment stuff, those kind of things. People were spending a lot of money on that, and I was doing a lot of that kind of work. So, but for the first year, of course, the effects of COVID were the huge, topics of conversation, and everyone was a little nervous because I came into their house, and they were like, "Oh, they reacted over how weird it is that we're supposed to practice social distancing, but I'm allowed to come in." Like, that was a little weird. That was weird for me too, but so we just kept on doing that. And then for the second and third years, that's when the biggest differences, like that's when the effects of the precautions we took because of COVID were really apparent, because that's when people started reacting over how lonely they were. And I'm so glad that I have a family that I could spend time with during COVID. Oh, look, this is what the cops do. They hide in the woods like this, and then they come get you. So for the people who didn't have anyone, they didn't have anyone. They didn't see anyone. And then all of a sudden, I come into their home, and a lot of the people were like, they were almost shocked at how long they had been alone, because they hadn't really reflected on it until they met me when I stepped into their home. And for me, it was a great opportunity to like, be a good person to them, to give them more than just, more than just electrical work, because like I said, just being a human connection, that was okay. It was fucking crazy year 2 and 3, because people were like, like Gollum in their home, like, what is it? Like when I opened the door, they're like, oh, what is this emotion? They come crawling out of the darkness, shriveled up, lonely people. And just so many people were so lonely for so long. It was crazy. And it was like, I stayed, and they were supposed to, we were supposed to practice social distancing, but they couldn't, because the human connection was, was so valuable to them that they couldn't distance themselves from me. So they were talking like, never has anyone talked so much to me as during COVID. And even if I had a short, quick job, just fix something that had broken, a lot of people were like, when I was done, they were like looking around to find something else for me to do, just to keep me there, just to have me stay and not leave. So that was, it was a great opportunity for me to be able to offer some humanity to people, felt alone. But of course, there was also like assholes. I remember one doctor, a doctor who was like, I was working with him all day at his house. Huge, fucking gigantic, awful building. I mean, the building was extremely nice, of course, but he was awful, so I think his fucking house was awful too. And like talking and joking and having fun. And then the day after, so I wasn't done the first day, and the day after when I come back, he's like, I come in, I unload all my stuff, and I get ready for work, and he's like, oh, by the way, just so you know, me and the wife, we got positive for COVID tests. And at that time, a COVID test took like 2 or 3 days to get, answers. And I was like, motherfucker, you fucking knew? I mean, you don't go and test yourself for no reason. So he obviously had a reason to test himself. And despite having a reason to go test himself, he still let me in his house and fucking... And I just packed up my stuff and left without saying a word. Well, I said a word. I said, I can't do this. And then I just fucking took off. God. Asshole. But I never... So, as far as I know, I never caught it. I wasn't... I wasn't affected. I never got sick. I mean, of course, I had a cold and stuff during those years, and that was probably, I should have. I mean, I was in people's houses every day. What are the probabilities of me not getting it are slim, right? But I didn't get any, at least I didn't get any confirmed, And I wasn't hit by it very bad. But there's a lot of stuff that I miss from COVID.
Please watch the speed.
You see, I have a thing with crowds. I don't like crowds. And I'm so glad that at least for a couple of years we stopped with the ridiculous practice of shaking hands. It's creeping back. Like, there's a lot less handshaking now than pre-COVID, but it is not fully gone, unfortunately. But that's a stupid thing that I wish we didn't have to do.
Please mind the speed.
And the hugging. I was so glad to be, to be off hugging. But yeah, like a lot of people are still like practicing for the most part, people stop with that stuff. And like you can go through life without shaking hands. It's mostly older men who just refuse to shake hands now. Refuse to stop. I mean, they insist on doing it.
Watch the speed.
And I just... I don't want to do it. I don't want to touch anyone.
Go straight up.
And also, I think one of the main reasons why I drifted so far away from social gatherings and like why I started avoiding it so much was because it was just so natural. It was so natural for me. And me and my wife, we've talked about this multiple times. Like the reaction to COVID and the social distancing was just so natural and easy. Like that we just kind of went with it like it was second nature to just keep by ourselves. And I think I kind of got locked into that behavior a lot during COVID. And I just kind of kept going with it. And it's not until now that I really, it was, I don't know. You tell me how long ago it was I started talking about this. That I started working to do something about it to kind of become a social person again. Yeah, and I think maybe COVID had a lot to do with that.
Exit now.
So this is not officially day in Kiruna. The sun doesn't really rise, but it's getting closer. Like, the sun never comes up. I don't know if it will in the game here. I don't think so, because as far as I understand, they have it all correctly. But this is as bright as it's gonna get. You see, this is, well, yeah, you see it's 11:30, so it's almost noon.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
Oh shit, I took the wrong turn. Let me just turn this around real quick. Get us back on the road. Quarry. So Kiruna has this gigantic mine that's historic. Mine for iron ore here, and they have since forever. And they moved the entire city because the mine is so big underneath the city that if the city was to stay, there was a risk that all of it or parts of the town would collapse into the mine. And so Kiruna had basically two options: either close down the mine and every job in Kiruna would just disappear because there's nothing else here. And option two is to move the entire town, which is no small feat. Literally pick up the houses and move them, or tear them down and build new ones. It's just crazy from a logistics standpoint. But yeah, that's what they did. They just moved the entire thing. Oh, we can maybe see... Can we see our unloading spot? Maybe? That'd be good to know going in. No. Oh yeah, there it was. Didn't help me much though. And you got these trains that they load up with the iron ore that just bring them to the entire world. And we're coming in here like, fellas, fear not, your potted flowers are here.
There we go. Kiruna checked off. Let's unload it.
And we got our third city for Sweden.
So that's good. We're in Kiruna now. We're gonna end it here. But so far it's been a pretty productive day, wouldn't you say? Let's take a look at some stats for the job. Alright, so from Haparanda to Kiruna, 342 kilometers, 31.1 liters per 100. I would expect it better from us since we were only carrying, what, 4 tons? Where is this? Yeah, here, 4 tons of potted flowers. 25 minutes of driving, 8,509 credits, 1,276 in taxes, so that's not nothing. 200 credits for, well, I guess that's the speeding ticket. 203 credits for fuel. The revenue was 6,829. 3 out of 5 stores. 5 out of 5 for damage. 1 out of 5 for distance. 4 out of 5 for fines because there was some. Fuel economy was 5 out of 5, so that's good. Mass was no stars because we were almost empty when it comes to weight. 121 hardcore points. We got no option but to take it. It is what it is. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time with this. I really do appreciate it. I know this day can be hard, but we just gotta push through it. Remember to take care of yourself. You are important, and you need to last for a long time. Bye.